Yo, what up, nyakos? It's your buddy Philko here, reporting live from your mama's house. Doing my thing as you know, I usually do. Bringing you guys another video. You know, that most hated dude with the most incredible mood. That's me. And today I want to talk about something interesting. This is about Russia 2016. And I want to explain something to you guys that's very true about Russia. That's is way more true about Russia than it is in America. I think this applies everywhere, but it means a whole lot more here. Like I always tell people, when it comes to Russia, money means more in Russia than it does in America. Well, not means more, but money does more for you than it can in America. It does much more, and a much less amount as well. A lesser amount does more for you here than it can in America. Whether it's, I'm gonna be honest, whether it's police, whether it's politics, whatever. Money does more for you here. Not only does money do more for you here, something else that does a lot for you here is connections. Now in this video, I'm not going to say any names. No, actually, I will say names. There's nothing you can do. But when I talk about other people, I'm not going to say any names. In my case, I will say names because there's nothing you could do. So for example, out here in Novosibirsk, we have, I would say the most exclusive club. If I'm wrong, please let me know, but it's the most exclusive, expensive, most well-backed club in the whole city, and it's called Black Milk. Long story short, 3 weeks ago, I just happen to know people, because that's why I'm pretty comfortable in Russia. I know people, and in Russia, you need a number. And what I mean by a number, in Russia, you need a phone number to call if anything ever goes wrong. You know what I mean? You need a number to call, and those people will handle it. But you can't just be anybody and get this. You got to put in work. You got to be a special person. You got to get shit done. You know what I mean? So I get to popping. I always get shit done. I've done it in 31 cities. So I'm generally a well-connected person in Russia. Whether it's from the government on down, I'm generally a very well-connected person. And the best thing about it is I'm not an asshole, so I never get into shit. I never get into shit because I'm not an asshole. I never get into shit. And a lot of people who know the big people, who may not like me, tell the little people that I know these people, so therefore the odds of me getting into shit is much less. It's the truth. I should have been stomped out in Russia a long time ago, and I would have been if I didn't know people. But this is something that came out of left field. I'm sitting here this morning, my phone rings. I don't like when people call me. If you ever call me, I will answer the phone with an attitude if I don't know who you are. Who was it that called me? Is the owner of Black Milk. The owner of the most exclusive club. He hit me up. He wants to get some shit popping. I said, sure, let's do it. And just like that, I can go to that club anytime I want. My company will go in regardless of how we dress. As long as we behave. I'm not out here acting like a fool. But as long as we behave ourselves, no matter what we're wearing, we could go in. Now, why that's funny is I never cared about Black Milk. I never wanted to go there because I figured, it's all the upscale people and stuff and everything's about money kind of thing. And I like being at the I like being at the gringy places when I'm drunk. Like the real gringy where crazy people go, where there's fights and shit. I like those places. Even though I shouldn't go there, I like those places. Like Sini Ini. It's kind of a rough place, but I love going there. It's cheap and stuff, but I love going there. There's a place like Friends Bar. I like going there when I'm sober and I drink there. It's a little expensive, but I don't mind it. I like that company when I'm sober. When I'm drunk, I could be around the roughnecks and shit because it doesn't bother me too much. Even when people are annoying, it's like, nigga, come on, blah, blah, blah. Because when I'm drunk, I can deal with more shit. So, I'm going to do business with this dude. Now I'm able to go there. But one time, I tried to go there. I didn't even try, to be honest. Me and some guys went in front of the club to wait for somebody to come out. Now, this place has like 6, 7 bouncers in front. Like, these bouncers don't play. They got like 6, 7. And there's always nice cars in front of this place, right? And so I wasn't even trying to go in. I just remember me being with these people, and one of the guards just like, no, he can't come in. He pointed at me. Now, to be honest, I wasn't dressed the most upscale that day. I wasn't wearing a collared shirt. I had on sneakers. I had on a hat backwards. I wasn't, to be honest, I wasn't dressed the way I usually dress. So I didn't take it as a race thing. Of course, the friends I was with like, oh, that's racist. I'm like, look, all of you are wearing collared shirts tonight. I'm not. So I'm not just going to take it as racism because if I look at the evidence, I'm the one here who's not dressed appropriately, so to say. And everyone says this is the most high-scale club in the city, so what the fuck do you expect? You know, I think they don't give a shit that I'm black, which is good, because some people would be afraid to say he can't come in because I'm black, because they'll look racist. But I respect those bouncers because they don't have that. But what's interesting is, the next time I went to the club, how was I dressed that day? Shit. Now, I think I had on, no, how was I dressed? I don't remember. No, I was dressed regular. But I was with friends of the owner. So we went inside, we did whatever. We hung out. And he said he might want to do some business with me. And I was like, all right, if you want, blah, blah, blah. But I thought that was just friendly talk. But he calls me this morning, and we're going to do it. And he says, I'll make sure the bouncers know whenever you're coming to blah, 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 let you in, blah, blah, blah. So it's just funny to me how the world works. You know what I mean? This ain't the first time things like that happen. Like, one day they reject, they're like, no, you can't come in, blah, 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 you can't do this. And then next time, they have to let me in, regardless of what I'm wearing. So basically what I'm saying about this is, the beauty, I'll get to the whole Russia thing later, but right now I'm gonna just talk about just knowing people in general. The beauty of it is, one day you could just be seen as some dude, and the next day you could be seen as a dude that you have to let inside or you lose your job. You see what I mean? So this is in general. Like, when you know the right people, you make the right moves, you do the right things, you move intelligently in the streets, you get your hustle right, you got your shit cut out for you. You know what I mean? And it's just beautiful. I'm too lazy to leave the house, but for this dude, I'm gonna leave the house. I'm not even gonna mention if there's money involved, but I'm gonna say this. Even if there's no money involved, I'm gonna leave the house for this guy. Why? Because he's a great connection to have. And anybody knows that. And he just called me, because before he said he wasn't going to call me. He's going to call somebody else to call me. He called me himself. That's respect. He called me himself, said, this is my number. Anytime, text it, this and that, call me, blah, blah, blah. I have his number. Now, I have 3 numbers in Novosibirsk that I can say are pretty big. Actually, 4. One, she wasn't so big, but now she works for the government in Novosibirsk. So I have 4 numbers that if anything ever goes wrong, whoever I feel can best relate to the situation, I can call and maybe seek some help. But at the same time, I don't want anybody doing shit for me unless I do something for them first. That's how I do that in Russia, And all these people have more money than me, so don't think I'm being extorted. All these people I'm talking about have way more money than me. All of them. You know what I mean? So don't think it's that. It's just, I have an advantage out here. I'm a rarity. You know what I mean? I'm an extreme rarity, and I use that to my advantage. So now to knowing people in Russia in general. In Russia, knowing the right people is fucking important and shit. Example, about 1 month ago, somebody got beat up in a club called Harrods. A bar, sorry. And I don't really like that bar, it's kind of skinhead bar. So, they beat up some person who was an important person. About 2 hours later, Spetsnaz, Russian street special forces, came to the club, put everybody on the ground. Now, people didn't know who he was. People think he's so important, but when I listen to the story, it doesn't seem like that person was important. What it looked like was that person knew important people. That's why everybody in that bar got laid down on the ground. Everybody. Laid out on the floor. Searched. Some got arrested. All that. Because they fucked with the wrong person who knew people. Now, I believe a person should be treated on their behavior. If you behave like a person, you treat people with respect, it doesn't matter. There have been times I've been in parties or clubs or even sat next to people who people can't believe I was sitting next to. Like, wow, you sit next to a dude like that? And it's like, yeah, I know he's a part of that group, whatever. But when I've seen him numerous times, I see this guy, he doesn't say anything, he minds his business, so I do the same. I treat him like a person, he treats you like a person, but I know at any time if either of us cross that line, there's gonna be problems. And I mean, I have so many examples with that. You won't believe the kind of people you may see me partying next to, hanging out next to, and we're just cool because we both know of each other. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, if I could just walk around with a camera filming everything, you wouldn't believe kind of things I've been through in Russia. But the reason I don't complain about it is because it's all about respect. Like, I could literally be next to a person who everyone knows hates black people. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. But they see him partying next to me. Not saying we're friends. I'm just saying we could just be in close proximity. But no one cares because it's like, okay, that's Philko. That's this dude. They're both known for this, this, and that. They're just going to party. No one gives a fuck. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying I'm the most important black person in Novosibirsk. I don't think so at all. I really don't know. I'm not trying to say my importance. I'm just saying I have a good amount of phone numbers to call in Russia. Same thing when I almost got deported in Penta. I called that number and I didn't get deported. You know what I mean? So people talk shit in the comments like, oh, he does this, he can't do this, you can't do that. In Russia, if you know the right people, you can do whatever the fuck you want. Period. As long as it's nothing crazy like raping women or killing people. No. As long as it's not too crazy, you can do whatever the fuck you want. I got a homie who I gotta also thank for getting me this connection. He works for the government here once in a while, doing something very special and very nice. I don't want to give his name in that case, but he knows he ain't got much to worry about. And I'm almost on his level. I'm almost there. You feel me? And I'm out, Nikos. Later.